Hello and welcome back to the Pocket Yogi. Today we're going to do a quick 15-minute practice that focuses on very beginner friendly movements to open your hips and stretch out your hamstrings. Feel free to use any blocks, cushions or towel to assist you with the practice. So get on your mat, let's get started. Alright, we're going to begin by lying on our backs and doing a few warm-up stretches. Before we get into movement, take a few seconds here to tap into your breath. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now take a nice deep breath. And as you breathe out, bend your right knee, hold on to it and squeeze it closer to your chest. See if you can let your left leg hover above the mat. If not, you can let it rest on the mat. We're starting out small, stretching our hamstrings and lower back. It's okay if you can't or don't want to flex your knee completely. You can just leave it up till here. From here, let's create some space in the hips. Add some dynamic movement and move this right knee towards the right shoulder. Bring it back to the center. The left leg is still dancing awkwardly in the air. One more, right knee towards the right shoulder and back to the center. Now in this round, move this knee all the way to the right and see if you can try touching your knee to the mat. Only stretch as much as your body allows you to. Bring your leg back to the center. One last round, over to the right, externally rotating your hips, knee towards the mat and back to the center. Now, take your right foot and cross it over to the left thigh so your ankle is resting on the left thigh. Inhale, draw your navel in, engaging your core, raise your left leg towards your chest. Now take your right hand through the small triangular space created between your legs and interlace your fingers around your shins or back of your left thigh if you're not comfortable bending your knees completely. Staying here for a couple of breaths. Feeling the gentle stretch in your hamstrings. You're inhaling to create more space in your body, and as you exhale, you're contracting your muscles, bringing your legs closer to the chest. Few more breaths here. Keep the back of your head down and your shoulders relaxed on the floor. Release any tension in your neck. One last, inhale, creating space again. Exhale, contract and bring your legs towards your chest. Straighten your right leg out. Take a deep breath and as you breathe out, bend your left knee, hold it closer to the chest. Once you get a nice stretch in, hold on to your left knee and gently move this towards your left shoulder. Bring it back to the center. One more. Left knee towards the left shoulder. Gently stretching your hamstrings and bring it back to the center. Now in this round, move this knee all the way to the left and see if you can try touching your knee to the mat. Again, stretch as much as you can. Bring your leg back to the center. One last round, over to the left, externally rotating your hips here, knee towards the mat, and back to the center. Now take your left foot and cross it over to the right thigh so your ankle is resting on the right thigh. Open your left knee towards the mat and inhale, draw your navel in, bend your right leg and raise it towards the chest. And like before, take your left hand through the space and interlock your fingers around your shins. Staying here for a couple of breaths. Inhale, focusing on expansion. Exhale, bring your legs closer to your chest. If you prefer, you can just close your eyes, keep your face soft and relax in this position. I've noticed that whenever we have very tight hips and hamstrings, we tend to hold our breath or have very weird expressions on our face because of the discomfort. So remember to go as far as your body allows you to and welcome the stretch. Disengage, release from this pose and straighten your legs out. Wiggle out any cramping or tightness you have and rest your legs back on the mat. Play dead for a few seconds if you like. Now gently turn to one side, press your way up and come to a seated position. We'll now move into an awesome but not so stressful pose for our hamstrings with a seated one-legged forward fold. If you feel like your hamstrings are really tight, you can start with a one-legged forward fold that will help you ease into a more deeper forward folds. So start with your legs stretched out in front of you. Notice if you're able to have an elongated spine. Avoid having a hunch by kind of displacing some of that chunky bummer side to correct your posture and grounding yourself on the mat through your sit bones. Feel free to sit on a block or a raised platform to open up your hips and lengthen your spine. Now fold your left leg and place the sole of your foot on the inside of your right thigh. Let the left knee rotate out and rest on the mat. Continue to engage your right foot and flex your toes. Yes, even you, pinky toe. Inhale, raise your arms to elongate your spine. Now, as you exhale, hinge from your hips, bring your arms down and fold forward. Now, I feel it's important for me to say here, but the goal is not to get a hold of your foot or be able to touch your forehead to your knee. Make sure you're focusing towards bringing your chest towards your thigh and keeping your neck neutral. See if you can go deeper with every exhalation. By the way, you can also keep a rolled towel under your outstretched leg to take care of any discomfort in your knee. Come back with an inhalation, arms to your sides. Moving to the other side, take your right leg, place the sole of your foot on the inside of your left thigh. Your knees rotated outwards onto the mat. Press down on your left foot and keep it engaged. Inhale and lengthen by raising your arms. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold forward. Bring your chest forward towards your thigh. Keep your neck neutral and shoulders relaxed. Staying here for a few breaths. See if you can bend your elbows towards the mat and get a hold of your big toe. Keeping your spine long and see if you can go deeper with every exhalation. Always try to understand your body's current limitations, like if you're not able to stretch deeper or if you feel a strain in your extended leg. The key here is to adapt and not force it. Come back up with an inhalation, arms to your sides. Straighten out your right leg and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Let's move through one more seated posture before we get into a standing hip opener. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Sit with your shoulders rolled back. Make sure you're maintaining form and not sitting with a hunched back. We're going to do Baddha Konasana, the butterfly pose. Now bend your knee, place the soles of your feet together, knees out to the sides. Keep your spine long and take a few breaths. If this is not feeling natural to you and you're cursing me right now, you can place your hands behind you, fingers pointing away from your body, and sort of help you lift your chest. Continue taking deep breaths here. Bring your heels as close to your pelvis as you can, but don't force yourself if you feel you're not able to. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, you can also lean forward a little, stretching your inner thighs here. The main focus here is not to get your knees down on either side, but getting your thighs to just externally rotate out. Please don't be one of those people that pushes your knees down forcefully with your hand. It's like attempting splits on day one, which by the way is a really bad idea. So be comfortable with your current state of flexibility. With a consistent practice, you're only going to get better from here. And inhale, come back to the center. Now switch to a tabletop position. Knees under your hips, palms directly under your shoulders. Raise your knees and hips off the mat into a downward facing dog. Staying here for a little while, taking deep breaths, enjoying the upside down. Pedal your feet to stretch out your hamstrings. Make sure you're not rounding the back. And do not worry about touching your heels on the mat. When you're ready, inhale and raise your left leg straight back and up and keep your foot flexed. Make sure your hips and shoulders are squared and not tilting to one side. Press firmly through your fingers. Now swing this leg forward and place it between your hands. Rest the right knee on the mat. Stretch out your back leg and rest the top of your back foot on the mat. Your left knee is stacked over your left heel. Hands on your thighs. Make sure your hips are in line with each other. Hands on your thighs and push your body weight forward. Pulsate for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale and place your palms back on the mat. As you exhale, straighten your left leg, flex your foot, send your hips back and stack it over your right heel. Breathing in to lengthen your spine. Breathe out and fold forward from your hip crease. This is called a half splits pose, like a precursor to splits. Only fold as much as your body allows you to. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, almost there, 2, and 1. Come back up, bend your left knee, bring your body forward back into a low lunge. Let's do 2 more counts of lunge to half splits. Palms on the mat, send your hips back into a half split, fold forward towards your left leg. Back to the front, left knee bent into a lunge. And last, the half split. Bend forward, back into a lunge. Place your palms on the mat. Take your left foot and swing it back to a 3-legged down dog. And lower your foot down. Onto the other side. Inhale and raise your right leg straight back and up, foot flexed and your hips are squared. Now swing this leg forward and place it between your hands. You can rest the left knee down and rest the top of your back foot on the mat. Take time to adjust yourself if required. Hands on your thighs, chest and gaze forward and hips in line with each other. Pushing your body weight forward and pulsating through for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale and place your palms back on the mat. As you exhale, straighten your right leg, send your hips back and stacked over your left heel. Breathe in and lengthen. Breathe out and fold forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back up, bend your right knee, shift your body forward back into a low lunge. Let's do 2 more counts of this transition. Palms on the mat, hips back into the half splits, fold forward. Back to the front, right knee bent into a lunge. One last, to the half split. And shift forward for the low lunge. Place your palms on the mat, take your right foot and swing it back and up with your hips squared. And lower it down back to a downward facing dog. Slowly step forward to the top of your mat till your feet are in line with your hands. Come halfway up with a flat back, hands on your shins. Keep your knees soft. Inhale, raise your arms up through the sides, lengthen your body. Come onto your toes, interlock your fingers and get a stretch up from your toes to your fingers. And deep breath out, arms back and relax. Thank you for joining me for this session today. If you usually feel tightness in your hip flexors and hamstrings, doing these poses frequently will help you stretch them out. If you like this video, please show some love and like and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment if you'd like me to cover something specific and I'll try my best. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.